Welcome to the Black Country Business Podcast, everybody. We're your coaches, Lewis Hayden and
Andy Hemming.
Andy Hemming. Today we're going to be talking about how to build an effective business plan. Andy, I'm going to have a discussion with you about this today. We'll keep it open, throw some ideas out there because I keep getting this question come to me as a coach. I'll get some messages on LinkedIn. I get people asking me, just fire me, give me a quick call or a quick text. Lewis, do you know where I can find a good template for a business plan?
Yeah.
And the answer to that, Andy, is, to be honest, no. I don't know where you can find that good template for a business plan. Because if you was to just Google, and this is what people end up doing, Google, how do I make a business plan? What does a good business plan look like? And you just get with some of this thing off what's ever on top of SEO at the moment to grab someone's attention through a blog or whatever, trying to sell you some sort of stuff through some ad maybe, but it doesn't really get to the core point of what does a good business plan look like. Now, we have sessions, Andy, 90-day business planning, where people will come down and they'll actually put a plan of what they're going to do in the next 90 days. Now, for me, the things that we discuss in that session, which is like a morning once every 90 days with all our clients, we also open it up every so often to do it with different businesses like law firms and accountants as well, don't we, Andy?
Yeah.
So the topics that we discuss in there, it seems far more effective for me, and this is my response to people when they send us a message: come along and try it out. Bring a pen and paper with you and have a look at what these 90-day planning sessions are about. But a business plan, expand that. It could be a business plan for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I think this would be a really good topic to talk about today, of what is really important, because what point is a plan that you just get off Google, fill in the boxes, then it ends up in your drawer or in some folder on your desktop that never gets used. So for me, an effective business plan is something that we use. So what's your ideas, Andy? Throw something out there of what you think would be an effective business plan.
Well, I think the first thing I'd say about it is, stop overcomplicating it. What are we really talking about here? What is a plan? It's a journey plan. So what's your destination? How do you get there? I mean, in very simple terms, if your destination's a long way away, then you know where you're going to end up, but you probably have to change direction a few times on the way because somebody might have put some roadworks in the way or whatever. So you're going to have to adapt. But the point is, it's really important to know where you're going. So there's that old adage, isn't there? Start with the end in mind and plan backwards, not plan forwards. And for me, that's the number one point. Don't overcomplicate this. Where are you going to get to? By when? That surely has to be the start. You're going to drive this vehicle, being your business, from point A to point B. Where's point B? And when you're going to get there? I mean, let's keep it simple here.
Yeah, I mean, all the ins and in-betweens and everything, that can change. I mean, who would have ever thought that we'd all be doing this lockdown right now? If that wasn't in your business plan, okay, what do I do with this business plan now? Do I need a new business plan? Well, look, if that start with the end in mind, like you just said, it doesn't matter what the plan is to get there, as long as we keep that direction. We spoke about it before as well. It's not just about keeping direction for the business owner, but for the team as well, knowing that regardless of what happens, guys, we're going to get to this outcome. So,
well, I think there's something else really important that you said there, in terms of what's the duration of this plan, because, if you're talking about 5 years out, let's say that's like driving from Birmingham to Land's End. 1 year out is like driving from Birmingham to Bristol. Right? So you can probably make a more detailed plan, which you can probably execute better to drive from Birmingham to Bristol than you can from Birmingham to Land's End. So in other words, be clear what Land's End looks like, but make the plan more detailed to get you from Birmingham to Bristol and do it in bite-sized chunks. I mean, keep coming back to actual physical journey technology analogies here, but that's what we're really talking about. Plan your journey. So I think But for me, it's about that clarity is the number one thing, and realizing that actually all you need is line of sight when it's further away. And if you look at the order of this, goals, plan, action, well, you're not going to change your destination from Land's End or Bristol, but you might have to change the way you drive there. So don't change the goals, change the plan. I think people can get too fixated on this business plan, which seems like this weighty 3 million page document that has to have every single full stop and comma of their business in. But if that's what they get fixated on, then I think they've missed the point.
Yeah, it's really cool. I always love the saying, Andy, inch by inch, it's a cinch, and by a yard, it's hard.
Absolutely. So yeah, that is really the point, isn't it? And I think bring it back to, what are the things you absolutely need to know? If we put this into a business context, where do you want to be by when? Maybe what's the vision? So the wider vision for the business, so you can actually align your team to head for the same thing, not just a financial goal, but a why you're going there.
Yeah.
So if that's in your business plan, then you've got a good start. I know where I'm going and I know why I'm going there.
It's the number one thing to have on your business plan, the vision.
Absolutely. And then brought back to goals. So the goals need to be tangible. Okay, if we're going there, what does the business need to look like? So some goals. And then what vehicle are we going to drive? In other words, what's the structure of the business? Who are we selling to? Mm-hmm. What's our marketplace look like? Why are we best served? We can dig into this a little bit as we go through, but why would the customers buy from us? How are we going to get to them? What's the most important thing to do right now? I mean, this is what we're really talking about in a business plan, isn't it? Why overcomplicate it more than that? The value of the planning process is the process, not the plan.
Yeah, it's really useful, isn't it, to have that plan there. And these goals, what are they? Are they the 5-year goals, like you just mentioned about going to Land's End or Bristol first? Well, you got your 5 years goals, the 2-year goals, and this is why we emphasize so much with our clients that it's mandatory, isn't it, Andy? They have to come along to the 90-day planning.
Yep.
So we know what that looks like, because if not, you could be driving the wrong direction. You could be going east rather than west when you need to be going.
Absolutely.
To where you want to get to, and your team too.
Yeah, very much so. So I think, you can keep using these driving analogies, can't you? The sat nav is your journey map. Sometimes it makes dynamic changes. Well, that's your business plan. What vehicle are you going to drive there in? Okay, that could be your sales and marketing machine. What's your products? Who are you selling them to? Who are your passengers? What does the team look like? What do the numbers say? The dashboard's in front of me in the car. Am I driving at the right speed? Have I got enough fuel in the tank? Is the engine working? Well, surely that's a business plan.
That's right, yeah. And I'll tell you what, and you can go and Google that on Google right now, and that isn't going to come up. Well, it will do when it comes up in the search engines of this podcast on YouTube and on iTunes. But other than that, so this plan, we can form the plan, and with our clients, we get big sheets on the wall, don't we? Yeah. We go, right, okay, what is everything that you need to do in the next 90 days that's going to move you forward with this? We give you the must achieve goal. This is the must thing. This has to happen if we're going there. And also goals, other goals that surround it as well. Yeah. And also, Andy, personal goals.
Yeah, very much so. Why wouldn't you?
What would you want to achieve? Because the business is there for a reason. You've mentioned the vision. So what gets you out of bed every morning and makes you want to make this business work?
That's right.
That's a key point for me for the vision as well. But that needs to be on here, because if the business isn't rewarding you, then what's the point?
I agree. Absolutely. I mean, that's not maybe stuff that you want to share with your team if you're going to share the business plan, but you certainly got to have thought about it, haven't you? So yeah, I mean, the business is a vehicle for your life. What do you want to get out of your life? Okay, now what's the vision for the business and the goals that need to happen? Oh, okay, now I know where I'm going on holiday, and I've got a destination for it, and I know what it looks like when I get there. Now, how do I get there? Yeah,
Interesting. I mean, when we first meet people as well, business owners, one of the first questions I'll ask Andy is, okay, so you've told me you want to get here with your business. Show me your plan.
yeah,
Go, oh, well, I've got it in my head somewhere. Okay.
yeah,
How can you follow a plan if it's in your head all the time? Because lots of stuff go on in your head. You got to
yeah,
go
very much so.
walk into a different room, and the things in your head change. So if it's not written down, you haven't got this plan written down, what's the likelihood that you're actually going to follow it, or your team's going to follow it? So you want to add some stuff on that? I can see that you're.
Oh, look, there's plenty of rabbit holes to go down here, isn't there? But yeah, if it's not written down, how do you delegate it? How do you hold people accountable to it? And what's the likelihood that it moves right? In other words, takes much longer than you originally anticipated. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So some business owners that we speak to will turn around and go, yeah, I have got a business plan. I have got it wrote down. And when they show it to us, yeah, guess what? It comes back as something as one of these things that you've just printed off Google, which has gone, this is how much money, blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah. This is our target market. No real essence to the vision or the why, or why it makes reason to be applying this product to this person.
yeah.
So I think that what I'm trying to get at here is there's a business plan, and there's a business plan that works, that is an effective business plan, which gets us in the direction. And that's one that gets used often, and it's seen often, and it's kept to as well, and there's action took about it.
Absolutely. I mean, you can keep going with your sat nav analogy, can't you? If you want to drive a long distance, where do you see directions for the next couple of miles? Right. So you know you've got to turn left in 400 yards, and after that you got to turn right in another 300 yards. Well, without that granularity in the plan, you never get to your destination. You got to be clear on where you're going, but you only really need the next couple of turns. In other words, the next couple of actions that you need to take to move you along the journey. So the whole business plan concept for me, okay, get clear on the overall concept, and who you're selling to and why they buy it from you and what it is they want to buy and how you get to them. So it needs a bit of a marketing plan in there. I understand that. Need some clear goals and maybe a budget. There's got to be some financial plans in there. How much fuel do you need in the tank? How fast do you want to drive, to get to there by that point in time? But then actually bringing it back to a daily, weekly, monthly, what are the actions I need to take? What's my next left turn? What's my next right turn to put me on this journey? That's why I say, I think stop overcomplicating it.
Yeah, it's a compounding effect, isn't it? When you think about it, if you was to keep making one of these actions and had a plan of, right, okay, over this next 90 days, I'm going to spend each week, so that's 12 weeks. Yeah, each week I'm going to achieve one thing in my business.
Yep.
Well, by the end of the week, I mean, this is what we do with clients as well, and we hold them, responsible for their results as well. If they say they're going there, then that's us as coaches, just like you're the best football coach and sports coach out there. We make sure that they get there by giving them the support and the accountability that they need. So if you was to do that over the next 12 weeks, well, the first thing that will happen is week 1 comes by. Did you achieve it? Yeah, I did it. Has anything changed in the business? A little bit. But do that over 12 weeks. What's happened over the last 12 weeks? Oh, well, we've done this activity, and it's led to a big result. Now, if that's 90 days, what happens after a year? The business looks like a totally different business.
Absolutely.
What happens after 2 years? What happens after 5 years? Well, it's not the same business anymore of what it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And as long as you've started with where you're going in mind, which isn't 90 days, it's a bit further out. Because otherwise, you might have a clear plan, but you might be driving in the wrong direction. So you got to start a bit further out than 90 days, but it's got to be brought back to 90 days. So you know that you're actually headed in on the right journey, taking the right turns. Yeah.
Absolutely. And look, Andy, I think we're really passionate about this sort of stuff, isn't it? So if there are people out there listening to the podcast right now that just have an idea of a plan but are struggling to nail it down, then just pick up the phone, guys, and talk to us. You know, we do 15-minute coffee breaks. We do our meetups if you want to have a Zoom call with us or whatever suits you best. All I know, Andy, is that I've been in this situation before where I've just thought about it for a long time and nothing's happened. So if I was to go back and change stuff, it would be to actually have conversations quicker. So if anybody's out there listening, either me or Andy are available to talk to if you want to get a plan in your business, or perhaps come along to the next 90-day plans that we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Keep looking on the website, sign up to our newsletter, and we can keep you up to date with anything that's coming up in the future.
Yeah.
Have a great week, guys. Catch you next week.